Good morning, online Econ students. Welcome to week 6. This is our last full week of our hex semester together, and we'll be wrapping up level 4 this week. So I'll walk you through a few things there in a minute, but just wanted to pause for a moment and recognize with you, obviously last week was a very difficult week, I think, for Americans, and if any of those events have you pausing or slowing you down in terms of the course, feel free to message me. Come to one of our class meetings. Of course, all our class meetings are optional, but I do open up our meet room every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. The Google Meet office hours, of course, at the regularly posted times every day. And then Thursday evenings from 8:30 to 9:30, I'm also available through the office hours if you need help, if you need to talk about anything, if you have questions. I know you don't know me very well. It probably takes more than just having you for 5 weeks in an online course to establish trust, but just know that I am someone that is willing to listen without judgment for a student, regardless of how they're feeling and why they're feeling that way. So I wanted to throw that in your direction. As far as this week goes, let's take a look in our current folder. At the end of last week, we got introduced to one of our topics from level 4, and that is budgeting. And so I thought I'd take a moment also to comment on the budgeting that you encountered last week was a personal budget. It should also be noted that the federal government has their own budget that they have to pass every year. And if you've taken political science, you understand that process already. And if you haven't, in a real simplified form, just know that Congress puts together a budget through the House and the Senate. It winds up on the desk of the executive branch, the president. The president then either signs it or makes changes to it or proposes changes to it, goes back to Congress for approval. Anytime that a yearly budget has more spending than it does revenue coming in, what's created is known as a budget deficit. The spending's greater than the revenue. If there's more money, taxes and such coming into the government than there is spending, then what is created is a budget surplus. And so from year to year, each budget may have a surplus or a deficit, so you might hear that. The other piece along with that is a collection of budget deficits year after year as they compile together, create what's known as the national debt. And so that's a figure that if you're following politics and elections moving forward in your life, that's what they're referring to with the national debt. And so I'm not going to run a commentary on that at the moment, but just know that that's what is being talked about. So these ideas that we're looking at personal finance in some ways can be applied at a macro level to governments and organizations as well. And if this is something that interests you, I would encourage you to enroll in a macroeconomics course down the road, whether you're at a 4-year university or a 2-year school, or even doing some correspondence learning online. Certainly can do that anytime. So a little side note there for you. Anyway, this week, week 6, we're going to finish the personal finance, and there's 2 major blocks that you'll be looking at. You'll be looking at Module 9, which is investing, and then Module 10, which is credit and insurance introduction. When you look at Module 9, I'll quickly run through it here. There's an article for you to read through to kind of help you get thinking about investing. Then I put together, well actually this video is a quick overview of how compound interest works, the nuts and bolts of compound interest and long-term savings in investing. Then I have a tutorial that I put together on something known as the Rule of 72, so I encourage you to watch that. And then the last piece is to play an interactive game that's called Stacks. It's a lot like doing Spent last week. You'll find this personal finance unit. I've built it full of interactive games for you to experience because I find that this experiential learning works really well for some students. So I wanted to make sure we included that in our course. And then after you complete the game of Stacks, screenshot your results, and then you're going to go on to the exit ticket for this module, which is called Investing 321. You'll notice that the 321 is a blue puzzle piece rather than the green ones like before. It's just the manner in which I created it allowed me to do more free response questions. And so this is still a formative, not a summative, even though up to this point the blue puzzle pieces had all been summative. So these two exit tickets that you see, the one for Module 9 and the one for Module 10, are formative. The third blue puzzle piece, after you've completed Module 9 and Module 10 and you're doing the Level 4 exit, that is a summative piece, open-ended, I believe 4 questions that you need to respond to. I think that on Thursday, either during my afternoon session or during my evening session, I'll do a review of some of the materials that you might want to consider for Level 4. Of course, all of our summative and formative assessments have unlimited attempts. So as you're getting near the end of the course now and you're looking back over your grade, if you see a piece that you completed before where the score isn't as high as you'd like it to be, go back and retake it. There isn't anything that you cannot retake. If for some reason you can't open it up, please contact me and I will make sure to fix it so that way you can. In Module 10 this week, the second half of what you're looking at this week, you have a few things to do. There's a credit and insurance intro that I walk you through, some concepts, basic concepts behind obtaining credit and some important factors revolving around qualifying for credit. Then there's some information, just some basic terminology on insurance. There's a video on loans, an insurance clip, and then there's a game called Credit Clash for you to experience. Another important piece that I put in this particular folder was the 3 C's of credit. This is something that you'll want to be familiar with, those 3 C's. It is on your summative assessment for Level 4. And like I said, I will do a review on Thursday and post that for you. Next week is a short week, 3 days only. I think what I'd like to make available then is just a few extension activities. I'm going to do one with international trade. And then I think the other piece is I'll put out an extra credit opportunity called the Test of Economic Literacy. So if we had had a 12-week course, the Test of Economic Literacy does a good job of measuring how well we mastered basic economic concepts, kind of tying in with the 10 guiding principles that have been displayed in our course. We aren't able to get to all 10 in 6 weeks, but we do the best that we can. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and good luck this week. And that's it.